Isn't that a gorgeous sunrise?
Yeah, it was really pretty.
You know, this was our first stop on the mainland of Europe, Malaga, Spain, and I was so looking forward to all the history of this city. Here we are in Malaga, Spain, and what did you think of getting off the ship today?
Thought it was easy. We're taking a guided city tour today, so went to the theater, got our little number 14 sticker, which means we're on bus number 14, and we're going to do, I think this is a 4-hour tour, is that right?
Yes, 4 hours of the best of the city, and then depending on how much time we have, we may go back out and do some exploring ourselves.
We like that.
Yes, we do. So join us as we tour a new city for us. New country.
New country, yeah.
And it's Malaga with 650,000 inhabitants. Okay? And this is also one of the oldest cities, not just in Spain, but also in Europe. It's 2,800 years old. And it was founded by the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians were sailors coming from Lebanon.
Our first stop on this tour was a castle at the very top of, I would say it was more than a hill, it was more of a mountain.
430 feet high.
And we could walk around the ramparts of it, and has quite a history. Right beside the castle was this hotel, which was called Parador Hotel.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Almost wanted us to stop the cruise and stay there for a couple nights. It was beautiful with a view that could not be beat.
Yeah, I could just picture sitting out on this veranda eating breakfast or lunch and overlooking the view. It was really pretty.
As our guide mentioned, the city really started with the Phoenicians back 2,800 years ago. So as you're looking over this, and actually the hill itself started as a lighthouse back in the Phoenician era, and then it was overtaken by Muslims, and then Christians or Catholics, and back and forth, and the history is so layered.
Yeah. And you can see from this view too the bullfighting ring. So that was interesting too.
Yeah, not a fan of bullfights, but it was the first ring I ever saw, and it was impressive.
First ring I ever saw.
Well, what type of rings do you expect? Now?
So I also looked up this Parador Hotel just to see how expensive it is. And when I booked out, like if I were doing a mock booking out like 4 or 5 months, it's extremely affordable. So who knows what could be in our future.
Talk about how people are dressed. This was a slightly rainy day with a couple downpours, but the locals loved it because they were in a drought. The tourists, not so much, but we got through it.
Just look at these buildings on the way into the more inner city portions of Malaga. Just so pretty. Such different architecture too.
Yeah, and a nice mix between old and new architecture.
And now we're coming up to the area where in, was it 1478 or 1487 or something like that, there was this church that was built to honor or to commemorate the victory of the reconquest of the city, the region.
And they also mentioned, or she also mentioned, that this church in particular is a favorite for marriages and special life events. So very pretty and beautiful, you know, not only architecture, but just the surroundings. And
we spent some time at this intersection, so she was telling us about the jacaranda tree. So that was interesting. It was gorgeous purple flowers on it.
So now we are at the square. And what was the name of the square?
It's a very long name that I'll put on the screen.
Okay, fair enough. I really liked it. It was a mixture of, as you can see, nice architecture, nice public space, history, because this is where Pablo Picasso was born and lived for many years, and also you could see all the different places, the eateries, the cafes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was pouring during one segment there, but now you can see we're walking down the streets because the rain did let up, and I just love walking through different cities just to see what's there, what the architecture's like, what kind of businesses there are there.
You get the feel of the city when you get to walk. I mean, bus tours have its place, and we weren't going to walk up to the top of the castle. But when you get to do this and walk, obviously with your tourist group, but among locals also, you really get a great feel.
So on the way to where we were going, we passed a lot of really interesting points, including this one, which was El Pimpe. And so she explained the story of that, which I will link in the description below, but it's kind of fun.
And talk about the layered history. Here is the Roman era, and you can see one of their theaters or their amphitheaters where they held obviously plays and had their democratic events and stuff like that. Very well preserved.
Yes, yeah. Just so gorgeous. Look at that.
And again, juxtaposition to some of the other architecture, done in a great style, but new.
Look at these streets.
Yeah.
Just the tile work. Oh, just so gorgeous. And the iron work on the verandas, on the second floors, and third floors, the upper floors of the buildings.
You know, I didn't say this then, but looking at the video now, the rain actually, for some of the tile work, made it look like a sheen. It actually looks terrific. And I just didn't really think about it when we were dodging the rain.
So now we're coming upon a chocolate store. Yeah, which gave out free samples. And of course we went into the store and bought some chocolate.
Nougat, papaya, coconut, or marzipan? Yourself?
I'll try the coconut.
Sure.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
Yourself?
Coconut.
Coconut, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
What would you choose?
Hello.
There you go.
Oh.
It's traditional.
All right, thank you.
Hello.
So now we're coming up to the Malaga Cathedral, which was pretty much the remainder or a large section of this tour. Our guide, Carmen, was an art history major, so she provided us with lots and lots of details of the artwork in this cathedral.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was larger, taller, more intricate artwork than I've seen in most any other place that I've been to in my life. It really was amazing, and you can see right here just the scale. If you look at how small the people are compared to the height of these the cathedral.
And in the choir loft section, first of all, there was this gorgeous pipe organ, which you'll see in a few moments, the pipes from the organ.
This choir room is full of history within the history of the whole entire church. Not only did they have arguments for decades of where to place it inside the church, they had 3 different artists carving them, with the middle artist actually carving one, and it looked terrible. And then they finally had a 3rd artist to finish it up and do a credible job. Very, very fascinating.
But the detail in those carvings was just amazing. So there are 42 wood carvings depicting different saints and bishops. So there are hundreds of pieces of art in this cathedral, and I think we got the history
of 98 of them. She was really good.
She was really good, but you could tell she loved art and art history.
Yeah, the whole trip could have been, the excursion could have been the Malaga Cathedral and a trip around the city.
Yeah. She also knew a lot about Picasso and all of his works too.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as we've been talking, she also mentioned that the cathedral was built right next to the mosque during the Muslim era. So again, more layering.
So back on board the ship, we decided to just take some footage of the surrounding area and the port. And we think that's the day we also went up on the North Star.
It is. So in the beginning, we talked about maybe walking around after the tour, but the tour was pretty long, and the weather, although you'll see that it cleared up once we were back on the ship, kind of tempered our thoughts of just walking around, and we just didn't want to get too wet. So we headed back to the ship, and as you said, decided to go up on the North Star for the second time on this cruise.
Yeah, because we were in port, it just went straight up and straight down, but still the views from there were amazing.
Yeah, we are going back to Malaga in a year and a half, and I'm looking forward to it. And maybe we'll go on our own tour. There was everything more to do in the city center, and we also noticed beaches. So I think we can make a day of it ourselves. We'll see.
Yeah, so if you have any ideas of what we should do in Malaga, if you've been before and did a different sort of excursion or went out on your own, let us know if you have any recommendations for us. So thanks for watching and exploring Malaga with us. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below.
It definitely helps our channel, and you won't miss any of our ship tours in the future and also our excursions. So definitely subscribe.